Welcome back to the bench, and today we've got this, my friend's Kurzweil PC3. He wanted to see if I could replace, it looks like a RAM chip. This is what's left of the old one. Can I even focus on that? You can see how small it is. So, if you can see, what I did is I cut the pins off this side, and then once this side is all detached from the board, I then used a whole blob of solder on here, and I was able to heat that enough up just to push it off its pads, and with a little bit of success. So as you can see, I almost did a great job. You can see where I cut two of those traces in the top right hand side. And I think I remember actually doing that when I was using the knife. So if you're going to use this method, you just need to lightly score the legs to make them weak. I then took two strands of wire from my solder braid, and I was able to poke them through the vias, which was really cool, and get a good solid connection. And then what I did was anchor the other side of the wire to those resistors you can see. And my advice then would be cut any excess off now. I didn't do that and had to kind of fish around to get them out of the way of the circuit. But at least they held it down enough so that when you put the chip on, everything lines up. And here's what it looks like under the microscope. It's quite difficult to focus, excuse me. But everything's looking pretty good. You definitely need a microscope if you're going to attempt this. It's very easy to get solder bridges. And this was the other side. And the scary thing was, when I started using hot air to try and take this off from the top, I noticed there was smoke coming from the underneath. So I quickly stopped and double checked, and of course there's SMD on the underside of the board. So you can't really use hot air to take this off in case all the other components on the bottom of the board fall off, and then you're really going to have a bad day. So this is the Kurzweil turned over, and this is the main CPU board. Couple of custom ICs. This is the RAM chip that we had to replace. The old one would go in there. As you can see, there's quite a lot of unpopulated bits. I was thinking about nicking a trace from one of these pads, but I was so scared that it might go to a via and I'd bust a via or something, and so I left alone with that. So if we turn it on and press exit, it should go into, it says it's got a bootloader here, but when we run Diagnostics, can't locate boot file, but we can still go in to the Diagnostics page, and it was failing before on the validity check. That's all good. And it's failing on the communications. That's all good. It was failing on the delay RAM. And that's all good. And then when we do the sound ROM, it's quite interesting. It's kind of why I wanted to make this video. And now it comes up with two errors, although there's three in the list, and it's expecting that value, and its actual value is the same, and it's the same with all of these three in the list. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Might be worth doing an update to version 2.2. Let's see what version this is. .21. Might just need to rebuild some of its objects, or it's quite complicated the way this thing is set up. Okay, it's a bit noisy because I think it's not in its case, and also I think the RF is interfering with my wireless microphone, but the effects are working. So I think we just got away with that by the skin of our teeth. Catch you next time.